Anyways, well, thank you for letting me be here. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and visit with you. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is explain to you a different way to do business with loan officers in relation to how real estate agents do their job. And 5 years ago, I started building a team and added my first, new hire. And our conversations always had to do with what can we do that's different? How can we add value to real estate agents outside of just buying trips to Cabo, because that's not allowed anymore, right? Some years ago, you might remember that sort of stuff happened, but for lots of years, can't do that anymore. And so how do we give you something more beneficial that would give you the opportunity to say, like, man, I really want to work with this person over that person, because ultimately all FHA loans are the same. And if the lender you work with now can't do the normal or the cool loans, we don't have to really continue. We can take your business now. But if everyone else was the same, how do we set ourselves apart, right? So what I'm going to talk to you about today is more about the process and how we do business, not just the business we do. Let's assume for a minute we can do all the normal loan types, all the cool ones. We go down to 580 credit score. We can do the FHAs and the USDAs and the DPAs and all the things. And if you have questions about that at the end, we can talk about it. But really what I want to just talk to you about is how we do business. See, trust is built through small kept promises. So if I do something the way I said I would do it, I get a point. If I do it again, I get another point. And over time, I start to stack up some points, so eventually you, the real estate agent, say, man, this guy's legit, right? That makes sense. So ultimately, what we're going to ask for at the end is just the opportunity to earn a few points and see if we can be a tool that you might want to add to your tool bag. Whether we're exclusive or not, that's not so much the problem or the issue. I just want to help you close more loans this year than you did last year. So we're going to talk about that, okay? My process is built in 4 sections, and the first section is the one that has the most to do with a real estate agent. It's the only one that requires you to do something a specific way in order to enter into the process that we've begun. Now, I keep saying the word process, but it's important that we pause for just a second and talk about this, because professional process triggers or flags that you're a professional. It's important because if you don't have a professional process, then you aren't creating confidence with your customer, right? I'm going to give you an example. Have you ever had a toothache? Anyone had a toothache before? All right. Probably happened on a Friday afternoon, so you had to wait all weekend long, right? You're ready to pull your own teeth out, and on Monday morning at 8:01, you're knocking on the door, somebody let me in. And you run inside and you look at the person behind the desk and you talk to the dentist. You're like, I don't know what's going on, but you got to do something. And the dentist pauses and says, gosh, well, what do you think we should do? I'd say, let's find another dentist, right? Ultimately, what you're expecting as the customer is for them to know exactly what to do, right? Conversely, you run in, oh my gosh, doc, my mouth hurts so bad, I don't know what to do, I'm not sure what's going on. And he says, don't worry, I know what to do, follow me. Have a seat, fill us out, we'll get you taken care of, we'll have you out of here in an hour feeling better. You already feel better and he hasn't touched you yet, because you had that sense of like, I'm in the right place, I'm talking to the right person, I now am with a professional. Why? Because they have a process. They knew exactly what to do with your situation. Now, this happens all the time. First-time home buyers or just somebody who hasn't bought a house for a long, long time, they have this intimidation happening. The fear, the unknown, the concern, the worry. They might have had 5 or 6 conversations over 5 or 6 days before they ever called your sign in the yard, wondering if they could even buy a house. Maybe the husband and wife are even fighting about it. We can't buy a house. Well, what if we could? We could just call and just see, and maybe we could look at it, right? Ultimately, when you're the real estate agent, you take that first phone call, you want to present that professional process. That's what builds confidence, okay? Ultimately, if you don't have a process, that's okay. You could just use mine, okay? So here we go. When you get that phone call, let's say you're on the floor for the day. Let's say you got a sign in the yard, or you got some Facebook stuff happening and somebody reaches out and says, I'd like to look at that house. And so you have this first conversation, completely cold. We're not talking about your hairdressers or your sister's best friend or any of those folks. This is the cold lead that you get on the phone. Hi, my name is, what's your name?
Jessica.
Jessica. Hi, my name's Jessica. Yeah, so I saw that you had a question about this or house. Man, I'd love to help you, right? So you have a little bit of a process there. You take their name, their phone number in case you get disconnected, that sort of stuff. You're collecting a little bit of data. What are you looking for? How can I help you, right? Good stuff. Usually during this conversation, real estate agents are going to make a really fatal mistake. Ready? Some point in the conversation, you got to ask this ever important question. What's the question?
Are you pre-approved?
Are you pre-approved, right? Number one rule in sales, don't ask questions you don't know the answer to. Your argument to me is now going to be, well, yeah, but how do I know then if I'm wasting my time? How do I know if I can help them? How do I know if they need something different from me first or second or third or whatever? Don't worry, I got you. Have you ever heard of a phrase or term called word track? Anybody know what word track is? Word track is the art of how you say a thing. The art of how you say a thing. Okay? Instead of asking the question, because what's the answer going to be? Yeah, we're good. Or my friend's a banker. Or an hour-long dissertation about the fact that they switched jobs recently, but it should be okay because now I'm making more than I used to, and I think my credit's pretty good, and on and on and on. You're like, oh my gosh, we're off topic now. The house had momentum. They called about the house. The blue one on the corner with the white picket fence, they called about the house, not to talk about their last job and the job before that and how their wife's going to be working soon, so probably they can afford a house. You're off track. You're a salesperson and you sell houses and you are now off the freeway in the cul-de-sac here trying to figure out how to get back onto the fast track to sale. Their momentum was, I want to see a house. So my argument to you would be, say yes. Say yes to everything. I want to see a house. Yes. Can we look at more than one? Of course you can. Why wouldn't we? Can we look today? Sure thing. And again, your argument's going to be, but what if they can't buy a house? What if they're not qualified? What if a lot of things? Don't worry, I will protect you. The partnership between the real estate agent and the loan officer should be a leveraged relationship. If you will change a few words, I will take care of the rest. Instead of asking the question, write this down, make an assumption. Use assumptions to get all the information you want. You won't have to ask questions anymore. Let me give you an example. So the blue house on the corner, the white picket fence, awesome, I'd love to show it to you. Here's what I'm gonna do. That flags process. When you say, here's what I'm gonna do, or here's what we're gonna do, it flags process. I know what I'm doing, follow me, right? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call and make sure they have some availability today for us to look at that house. I've got a couple other homes in mind. I might give them a call real quick as well, because if we're gonna look at one, we should look at two, right? At least two, right? In the meantime, I'm gonna have a finance professional call and sure up any questions you have about your pre-approval. And when I call you back, we'll make a plan, we'll go look at it. Oh, by the way, that house on the corner, that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. If I had a 4-bedroom, 2-bath in a similar price range, same neighborhood, would you be interested in that also? What's the answer to that question? 100 times out of 100, they say yes. Yeah, of course. So let's go back to that. If I ask the question, I get sidetracked and off the road to the sale. If I make the assumption that give me the information I need. If they say nothing, guess what they need? Pre-approved. They will just let you make the assumption and you didn't have to put them on the defense. So are you pre-approved? Well, we've never done this before and I don't know how to blah, 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 whatever. Just make the assumption. I'm gonna just have a finance professional call you, sure up any questions you have about your pre-approval, and after that, we can go shopping.
Love it.
If they're paying cash, guess what? They'll tell you right then. Oh, no, we're paying cash. Oh, good, perfect. Pivot, go show houses. If they're already pre-approved, they'll tell you right then, oh, we already talked to my friend, we got a letter, we're pre-qualified, et cetera. Great, go show houses. So you've already gotten to the point of, I need you to talk to a finance person without going, you got to get pre-approved before I can help you. This happened a lot during COVID. It became the norm, the rule, honestly. Nobody would show anybody a house unless they had a pre-approval letter and they were hard, cold, pre-qualified or pre-approved, whichever phrase or term you want to use. But I would argue that it's the wrong way to do a thing, and it became the sticking point, because as a lender, I got customers that would call me and say, I guess I need a letter or nobody will help me. You probably didn't say that, but they heard that. So we want to avoid that. We want to be the fun aunt or the fun uncle to every question that the customer might ask. Can we look at a house? Yes. Can we look today? Of course we can. Can we look at a bunch? You betcha. Real quick, here's what I'm going to do. This is where your protection comes in, because we want you in front of houses or in front of people all the time. If it's serving my purpose, your highest and best use is to be in front of the next customer. So as your lender, if I'm your lender, I'm going to take care of everything else so that you can focus on that. So with that being said, Blue House on the corner, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have a finance professional call and sure up any questions you have about your pre-approval. And when I call you back, we'll go looking for a house. Now, when I call them, I will go over here's what we need, and here's the documents, and oh, you're self-employed, we're going to have to review your tax returns, and this is going to take longer than an hour. It might take us a little bit longer. It might take us a day or 2 or 3. We just make sure we're very thorough on the front end. The customer will get slowed down by the lender, and you get to keep saying yes. Does that make sense? So you get to call him back and say, I talked to Sam. He said they need some documents and stuff, but I'm here for you when you're ready. We can move our appointment to tomorrow or the next day, no problem. They love you. They tolerate me. That's exactly where we want the customer. The reason for this is a cold lead converts for a real estate agent at roughly 1 out of 10. If you're real good on the phone, 1 out of 8. So many things have to happen from the, hi, this is Jessica, to the closing table. Does that make sense? Do you know what my conversion ratio is? 1 out of 4. I can show that to you year after year over thousands of applications for my whole team included. 1 out of 4.3 to be exact. Do you want to know why? It's because I'm so good. No, I'm just kidding. The reason why is I have a magic button that you don't have. Does anybody know what it is? Truly, in this room, some of you should. Does anybody know what the magic button is? What's different? What's different from the conversation the real estate agent has with a customer, brand new customer, and different from the conversation I have with a brand new customer?
You have a process?
Social security number.
You have the facts first.
Social security number. It's a magic button. Here's the deal. They'll get off the phone with the real estate agent, they'll drive 2 blocks, they'll call the next sign. Happens all the time. They'll drive 2 more blocks and call the next sign. If we're going to look at 1 house, we might as well look at 2. They don't realize you can show them all 3 houses. And if you just by accident didn't mention, I can show you anything in the market, I'm your person, don't call anybody else, that's exactly what will happen. They see another house they like, they'll call another sign. They won't give their social security number to 5, 6, 8 different people, promise. When I call them up, hi, my name is Sam. Jessica asked me to give you a call, said you might be interested in some loan stuff. Gosh, I want to help. What we normally do is just start with an application that gives us a little look under the hood to see what we're working with, and then we'll review all the options possible to you to see what would be the best way for you to go about buying a house. Does that sound okay? Great. What's your social? That's how I take a nap, every time. 2 statements, and I'm into social security number. It does not matter what you say on the phone, no offense. If the only thing you say well on the phone is, you have to talk to my guy or my girl, lender, everything else could be baloney. Sky is green, grass is blue, call Sam, he'll take care of you, right? Because my conversion ratio is higher than yours at that moment in time. It's not your fault, it's social security number. The faster you get them from your phone to my phone, the sooner you convert. How'd you like to close 1 out of 4.3 instead of 1 out of 10 next year? Right? More money for you. Wouldn't that be ideal? Okay. So with that being said, and by the way, if you take nothing else from this presentation, and if you never see me again, never refer me a single deal. If you will do this with the lender you work with now, and they understand what you're trying to accomplish, your conversion ratio will go up too. Because I'm not special. I just have a process. And if you can get them to have the same process or similar, it will work for you. So you could tell me I smell funny and I can't read good and use that same tool that I just gave you and you'll close more loans, right? So here's what happens. I call the customer. Jessica asked me to call. How can I help you? Social security number, all the details and information. This begins the rest of our process. And our process comes with stacked guarantees. And for those of you that work for a loan company that are in the room, stacked guarantees is how you sell by process. Think about how you normally do a thing. You call customers on this day, you give updates on that day, you follow up after you get to the pre-qualification, you do this, you do that. Instead of just assuming that's normal for everyone, find a way to say it in a This is how I do business process, and sell that to your customer. Write down your process, brand it, then sell your branded process to your client. For those of you that work for a loan company in this room, do you know who your client is? It's not the customer buying the house. So, number one guarantee. If you send me a lead, I want you to send it to me with a text message, generally speaking. You can call me if you want to, but a text message, name and phone number. I don't want any other information. Don't call me and tell me the sister might co-sign after she gets out of jail, but in the meantime, they're switching jobs. They just bought a car, but they're going to sell the other one. I will find out for myself, and we want to have that conversation with them to build that rapport. This is good for you because I am the glue that you are leveraging at the beginning of this relationship with your client. You are using me to get sticky with the customer because I get the social security number, right? I'll ask them about their car, and I'll find out about their sister and all the things. If you send me that lead, we will reach out 7 times in the first 4 days or until we get them on the phone, right? I mean, if I get them on the first call, I'm not going to call them again, but 7 times in 4 days. It's not good enough anymore to just say, I'll follow up. Everyone says, I'll follow up. We'll follow up 7 times in the first 4 days, and if we don't catch them, we'll call you back and say, have you talked to Bob? No? Do you want me to keep going, or do you want me to kick them? It's your clients, not mine. You're my client, they're your client. So it's your client, you get to call the shots. I tried, they didn't answer. I left 2 voicemails, I sent 4 text messages. Do I get to stop now, or do you want me to keep going? I just saw Bob at church. He said he was going to call you back. Okay, no problem, I'll keep it up. But default is 7 times in 4 days, and after that, I'm like, what do you want to do? Okay? Once we get a hold of the customer, we're going to take the application on paper as much as possible every time. Why? Can we all agree that conversations make us money? Okay, so although all the companies now are going to I've got the link and I'll send you this link and I'll send you this text and you can just fill it out on your own or whatever, I want to talk to your customer. I want to build rapport and build glue. This changes your conversion ratio. The stale, cold, I'll send you a link, fill it out if you want to. I sent them a link. Isn't the same as nice people. I got a chance to talk to both of them, took their information, got a good background on them. We're working on their transaction now. I will follow up with that text. I got them, I didn't got them. I send a message, I'm gonna follow up tomorrow, whatever the case might be. Now our text message conversation works kind of like a CRM. 2 weeks from now, you can go back through your text and go, by the way, what happened with Bob? You can just see it in there. Does that make sense? Easy peasy. Now we can call and talk to each other about it also, but if it's in text message, it's in writing. And you get to hold me accountable to the process I guaranteed you that I would follow. You said you would call them, did you? Right? Once I get a hold of them, you're going to get feedback, they're going to get feedback within 1 business day or sooner every single time. And with that feedback, we are going to grade the potential of that application. It might not be pre-qualified yet. We might need to track down a bunch of documents, but I'm going to give you a grade level on that, 1, 2, or 3, or it's a mortgage action plan, or we call it a MAP. A level 1, 800 credit score, 20% down, just waiting on a W-2, but they are going to be aces. I could pretty well just pre-qualify them now. This is the one you want to pay attention to, Jessica. Level 2, this will be a deal. They're a USDA interest. We're going to have to get tax returns. We're collecting some documents from the other household members. Usually this means a day or 2 or 3 of document gathering, but it's a deal. Keep them close. Just don't prefer them over your level 1s this weekend. A level 3, maybe. Maybe there's a deal. They said their sister would co-sign when she gets out of prison, right? We've got child support. Back child support. We got docs to chase down. There was a bankruptcy 2 years ago. I'm waiting on this. I'm waiting on that. Credit score is very, very, very close to the line. I'm going to need some time. The idea here is we're setting expectations. So if you're going to go spend your weekend showing houses to somebody, it shouldn't be them. It doesn't mean they won't eventually get pre-qualified. If we can find a way, we will. But you now know how to prioritize your time. See, I told you I'd protect your time and your paycheck. And so that level grading system tells you exactly what you need to know and how to spend your time this weekend. Is that fair? A MAP means that they're not in a position to buy a house. I can tell you that right away. Credit score is too low, job situation is this or whatever, and we call it a credit map or an income map. Something is up. They just started being self-employed. That's going to be a while. All the things. We'll give you a little feedback. And every customer, our next guarantee, gets a yes or a how. We don't say no to anyone. If they can't buy a house right now, we will stop, pause, take the time to love on them a little bit and give them a how we can get you there. It might be a month, it might be a year, it might be 2 years, but this is how. And if they're willing to do the work, not only will we stay with them, follow up with them, so you don't necessarily have to worry about it, we have an in-house credit improvement specialist that will actually set up a Zoom meeting with them, go over their credit report line by line, explain to them how they got there and what it's going to take to get them solved, which items they need to worry about, how much they'll need to save, what their credit score needs to be. She's not a loan officer. She just loves on people. And those that want to do the work get an opportunity to have the steps laid out in front of them. Is that fair? Have you ever sent a referral over to a banker or a lender and then the customer called you back and said, they said my credit wasn't good enough, I guess just come back when it's better? We just don't do that. Everyone deserves at least a shot to own a home. So that's one of our guarantees. During the pre-qualification process, not only are we going to give you that level 1, 2, and 3, we're going to go through our steps to make sure that customer is pre-qualified and it's ironclad. One of our guarantees, we vet every knowable thing. I realize this is not a requirement. You can actually pre-qualify somebody based off of a conversation and a credit report. Their credit score is good and they told you they make a gazillion dollars a year, approved to go shopping, right? We just don't do that. The stakes are too high. My job is to protect your paycheck and make sure that you only spend time on people that can actually buy now, which means pay stubs, W-2s, tax returns sometimes, all the things that are required for any and all loan types. The other thing that I guarantee is we will always look for at least 2, if not more, options for that customer. Have you ever been out on a weekend showing houses to a buyer who's probably going to go FHA, should probably go FHA, because that's the best deal for them, and yet they really want to look at the old Victorian on the corner that needs lots and lots of work. Now you can't find your lender on a Sunday afternoon wondering if they can go conventional if they really, really wanted to. It's you don't know if you're wasting your time showing that house or not. We'll solve that on the front end. And I will text you all the details. Max pre-approvals, which loan types, payment estimates, interest rate estimates, everything you would want to know so that while you're out with your customer and they say, I wonder what the payment would be on X, you say, oh, I have that all right here. So you get to look like the rock star while we are enjoying our Sunday and you're doing your thing. Doesn't mean you can't get a hold of me. We thrive on accessibility, but ultimately, this has come up a lot for a lot of our real estate agents, so this is something we built into our process so that you have it ahead of time. You'll know if they can do a DPA, you'll know if they can go USDA, you'll know if they can go conventional or FHA. We actually run through every single loan type that might be relevant to that client, okay? When we send the pre-qual letter, we send it to the agent, not to the customer. They don't walk into an open house and accidentally find another agent. The customer calls and says, so I'm pre-approved? Yeah, you pre-qual, here's your details, here's numbers, here all the notes, blah, blah. Great, do I get a letter with that? I already sent it to Jessica, she's waiting for you. My goal right now is to transfer the glue from us to you while we then sink into the background and let you do your thing. It's your time to shine. We're here for questions. Off you go. Right? You gave me the glue or the opportunity to create glue. Now I'm giving you the opportunity to create glue. Right? Once they're pre-qualified, we're going to call that customer or text that customer. We have an actual weekly process that we go through. We're going to reach out and touch that customer every single week. Tips and tricks, don't buy a car, stuff like that. But also we're going to call them. Do you have questions? Have you seen anything interesting lately? Can we run some payments for you? Again, I want you out getting another one. Marketing to the next group of people, showing houses to somebody who's shopping today, while we will keep them engaged, answer their questions, and make them feel like they're being communicated with. Why? So that you'll lose a client because, well, that agent just never really called me back. No, you go be busy, I'll take care of them. Generally, they don't know the process. And so as long as they feel connected with, the glue still exists. This is also when customers will do things like lower their voice, slow down a little bit, and ask questions like, what if I find a house that's for sale by owner? They will ask us that. They won't ask you that. You've lost deals to for sale by owners all the time. I know you have. And they'll ask us that question, what if I found a house that's for sale by owner? And we'll say, oh, that's amazing. Let's get a hold of your agent real quick. They can help. Really? Well, the seller said, that's okay. Doesn't mean you can't use an agent. Let's just get them involved. You definitely don't want to go it alone. A little bit of advice is better than no advice. And if the only way for you to buy your dream house is for the agent to step aside, they're professionals, they will. But at least if there's an opportunity for them to give you a little bit of guidance or even be involved in the transaction, we should at least consider that, right? And they say, oh yeah, that makes sense. And they take a deep breath and they sigh a big sigh of relief and go, okay, that makes sense. It's not that they wanted to go around you, they just didn't know what to do. It's weird for them when the seller says, well, yeah, ditch the agent and I'll sell you this house. And they're like, man, it's uncomfortable. They don't know how to ask. So they ask me, or my experienced manager, who makes a lot of our phone calls for us, by the way. I hired somebody whose whole job in life is to love on our customers, your clients, okay? So with that being said, we can sometimes solve those problems. True story, this happened. A customer called me and said, you know, that agent never called me. He hasn't sent me any houses. He said he would send me houses. He didn't send me one house. I keep sending him stuff. He never sent me anything. I called the agent and I said, first of all, I told the customer, I said, that can't be. Jessica's amazing. She would never do that, right? I called Jessica. It was actually Brian in this case, but I called Jessica and I said, you know, your customer said you never sent him a house. She's like, that's crazy. I keep sending him stuff all the time. They're not responding to me. They had the wrong emails. They closed that deal together. Had we not been reaching out on a weekly basis, she'd have lost that customer. That customer would have come back to us and said, hey, I got a new agent now. I found a house. We solved that and saved that because during those first 2 weeks, we figured out what was going on and saved a deal. 1 point, right? So once customer's under contract, a couple things you want to know as real estate agents, we automatically order the appraisal right away. So if you need us to pause that for any reason, hold out for a little bit, give us a little time for the inspection because you have concerns or worries, let us know. Usually appraisals are turning around right now in 10-ish days, sometimes 2 weeks. So if you have an inspection scheduled right away, you usually have time to have the inspection, see how ugly or good it might look, and then call me and say, can you pause the appraisal? Okay. But again, if you have big concerns or whatever, let us know right away. That's normal and automatic for us. We don't want to waste time or allow for 2 or 3 weeks and then go, somebody forgot to tell us to go ahead and order it. So it's become default for us. Is that cool? With that being said, we're then going to reach out to everybody every week for updates. Let's talk about Mondays for a moment. As a real estate agent at 7:59 on Monday, the first phone call you get is from the customer that you put an offer in for over the weekend. And what's their favorite question? Customer's favorite question? So, what's next? And you're like, well, coffee is next. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. Can I just have a minute, right? So the customers, they're excited and they're all the things. And they're going to call you and they think their source of updates is you. False. It can be if you want it to be, but it isn't really. Number 2, 9 a.m., the agent from the other side of a deal that you closed or you put under contract a week and a half ago is going to call you and say, so is that appraisal ordered? I think so. Let me see if I can get a hold of the lender who's probably playing golf, right? And you call that lender, it's appraisal ordered, and they finally get back to you. Oh, yeah, I ordered it. And so Jessica, she calls back the other agent, Chelsea, and she said, okay, they ordered the appraisal. Well, I haven't heard from anybody. Do you know when it's due? Hold on, let me find out, right? And so we have this Monday craziness of all the back and forth, and the customers are firing their questions they've been waiting all weekend to ask because they don't want to bug you on a Sunday. Ultimately, all the information you need, I have. So then you got to call me to find out where are we at with this deal? Did underwriting look at the file yet? When is the appraisal due? Did the appraisal come back yet? Was the value good? Is the repairs need? All this stuff that you would want to know, the other agent wanted to know, the customer would want to know, is all information that we have. So why wouldn't we just do it for you? So every Monday by lunch, everybody gets an update. Buyers, agents on the buy side, agents on the sell side, title company. We'll call mom, dad, dog sitter, sister, it doesn't matter. If they're on the list, they'll get a phone call. Here's what's happening with the file. Great. I've got clients that parents are really heavily involved in their kids buying the house. Mom and dad can get an update too, no problem. What do you get to do with your Monday now? Get another one. Focus on the next lead, the next deal, putting a contract together, negotiating something, seeing a house, walking a couple houses. Just let those phone calls go to voicemail. We'll get it. We'll get them. We'll get them within the first few hours on a Monday. Next guarantee. When's the last time you've been in a transaction and all of a sudden you get a call from lender and lender says, hey, we're going to need another week to close. Need some more time. Have an issue on the file. Something comes up. Look, loans are hard. And as a very good friend of mine used to say, sometimes they grow legs and try to run away from you. We've got to chase them down, tackle them, and beat them into submission. Sometimes that means more time. The problem I have with this with most lenders is, and I hear this often, maybe you can agree or understand, the lender will call the agent and say, hey, I need more time. The agent's going to say, first question, why? What's going on? What happened? And very often the lender will go, well, the thing is, that's private. I can't really get into it, but, you know, we're working on it. Do you know what that means? You know, that's code for, right? I screwed up and I don't want to tell you, and I don't know how to tell you, and I don't want to admit it, and all the things, right? One of our guarantees is transparent problem solving. If I messed up, I will tell you, I messed up. I'm a human. I have human people on my team. It happens sometimes. I will own it. I will then tell you what I'm doing to try to fix it, what I think the odds are of solving that problem, closing that deal, how long I think it'll take me, and you'll get the full conversation no matter how hard it is, promise. We take a lot of care into avoiding those problems, avoiding those questions, avoiding those issues, which goes back to we vet all the knowable things, we ask all the right questions in the front end, we're very thorough on the front end to solve this, to avoid it, get ahead of it, but sometimes life still happens. And further, there's only one or two things about a customer and their information that I'm not allowed to share with you anyway. So when a lender tells you I can't really share that, I'm just going to call BS every time, right? Unless I'm showing you a social security number or giving you a copy of their credit report, I can tell you all about it. Well, they went and bought a car. And I didn't see the inquiry on their credit report. I missed that. We're going to see if we can pay off a credit card and lower the rate a little bit. I think it'll work, but we're looking into it. I should know something in a day or two. Transparent problem solving. So the next time a lender says, I can't really tell, I can't get into it, blah, 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 they are lying to you. Once the file closes, we get to closing. Of course, everything's been prepped ahead of time. You're going to get automatic updates about appraisals, and when they come in, our processors automatically send all that stuff out. So if you ever need updates during the process, besides the Monday calls, just text or call anytime to myself or to one of our team members, no problem. Once the closing happens, once the client closes, we wait a week to the following Friday. So anytime this week they close, we're going to call next Friday, and we're going to talk to them about their closing. How was it? How's your house? How's everything about it? Do you love everything about it? What happened? How'd it go? First of all, I've been all over the country, mostly in the Midwest, talking to agents just like yourselves, and I often find that agents tend to avoid that conversation for a couple of weeks because they're afraid to hear about the hot water heater, the roof leaking, or something went wrong with the house the day after closing, and they just sort of kind of avoid it. We just hit it head on, right on for you. Is everything amazing? And if it isn't, let me get your agent involved and make you part of the solution instead of part of the problem. See, they will blame you unless we make you part of the solution. Most of the time, however, they had a great experience. The house is closed. They love the house. It's amazing. It's everything they thought it was. My next step is to make sure that that customer knows how important it is to you to get a 5-star review on your favorite review site. Your agent is self-employed. It would mean so much to them if you'd be willing to comment or repeat those comments on a review site. Can I send you the link? I'll even copy and paste what you just said into an email, so all you have to do is clip, paste, send on Zillow, Google, or whatever. So Mr. and Mrs. Agents, just give me the review site you're boosting right now, whether it's Zillow or Google or Redfin or whatever it is. We'll make sure your reviews get out to you, okay? You don't have to ask for that, it's automatic. The other thing that we do is we call every single customer every quarter on the quarter for the rest of their life. NAR did a study and had a statistic come out that said 90% of clients would use the same real estate agent again. Only 14% of them do. Does anybody know why? The biggest reason for that, they said, they forget your name. Can't remember the name. There's another interesting psychological statistic that I know from just sales background in the car business. After 3 years, they feel no obligation to call you again. 3 years from now, you are the same as any other real estate agent that they bump into on the street. If you've not connected, talked to them, shaked hands, hugged, said hi, whatever, any of those things. Really what that says a lot about the fickleness of clients. It says a whole lot about the unwillingness to make phone calls by agents. Because all you have to do is call your past database once a quarter, once every 6 months, talk to your past customers. But if only 14% are using the same real estate agent again, most of you don't. No problem, I'm not going to beat you up about it. I'll just do it for you. Every customer, every quarter, on the quarter for the rest of their life. How's it going? How's your summer? Is there anything you need from us? Do you need a referral to anybody? HVAC, electrician? You want to put a deck on the back of the house? Let us know. We'll get with your agent. She knows everybody great in town. We'll get you a good referral to something. By the way, do you know anybody else looking to buy, sell, or refinance? We want to help. At the very least, we just want to be your first phone call. Is that cool? Anything house related, real estate related, we want to be your first phone call. And immediately then we can go, hey, Jessica, remember Bob? His sister's moving to town. She's pre-qualified, waiting for your phone call.
She's out of jail.
Yes, right. She got out of prison, got a good job, she's ready to roll, okay? The point is that if you're not farming your own database, if you do loans with me or deals with me, I will farm your database for you. We keep track of every referral and the referral source it came from forever. Does it work every time? No, Bob's sister's best friend might be a realtor, and so maybe I can't get him back to you, but at least we're making an effort. So if you get one more deal next year because we paid attention to who you've referred us to and then who they've referred to us, that's one more deal you got last year just because you used a different lender. Not terrible, right? Awesome. With that being said, I have 2 asks today. 2 very simple asks. Number 1, I just want to be in your world, get to know you. We believe in doing business with people we know, like, and trust. In order for us to get to that point, we just got to meet up sometime, like take you coffee, lunch, visit a little bit, find out if you like golf or motorcycling or whatever the case might be. Okay, dogs, kids, Disneyland, whatever. Let's just chat and hang out. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't a good fit personality-wise for each other, and that's okay. Is that fair? Does anybody care if I call and follow up? Yeah? Okay. Number 2, if I can do everything I said I could do, I have a big team. There's over 20 people on my team, and half of them are dedicated to making sure that process happens every single time. If I can do what I said I could do, would it be worth at least seeing if it follows through so you can put that tool in your tool bag? If so, here's how that would go. As I said before, we close 1 out of 4.3. Generally what that means is, as a trial basis, you'd send me the next 4 referrals you get. Most likely we're going to put one of those under contract and send them all the way through the process. Then you get to see how the whole thing works from start to finish. If we did what we said we're going to do, if we called when we said we were going to call, if we texted when we said we were going to text, if we closed when we said we're going to close, if we were transparent during the process, and at the end of that situation, no strings attached, you say, that was cool, but it wasn't that cool. No problem. It was a great opportunity to try to earn your business. I'm sorry it didn't work out. Generally speaking, though, at the end of that, you're going to go, now I got to figure out how to let the other guy down. But that's for you to decide, okay? 1 shot, 1 opportunity, 4 leads to do it. After we get a chance to get coffee or tea or whatever, beer, doesn't matter, right? If that's good for you, that's amazing for me. I really appreciate you coming out here and sitting here and letting me visit with you a little bit. With that, I just want to let you all know that we spent a lot of time building out this process with feedback from real estate agents. You give us what we need to know and how we can tweak and twist and improve and adjust our process. And ultimately, when it changed for us 3-ish years ago, is when we realized one very, very important thing. The customer buying the house is not my client. The customer buying the house is your client. My client is you. So you get what you want, when you want it, how you want it. And if it doesn't go exactly like that, don't use me. Easy. Sound okay?
Perfect. Cool.
Thank you.